but only when you're ready. I guess when you choose to. So the question is, why has the hierarchy not provided the alternative model of transformation and mastership and enabled the entity to make a choice, and in so doing, truly exercise free will? It is because the hierarchy, like most entities, is not aware of its wholeness. Its fragment or subgroups are completely devoted to its boundary, so it's just doing its job. So you cannot blame it for not doing its job. Even the devil, Lucifer, who is a brother of Michael. So, and there's a different explanation for that, So where there are boundaries that define and limit, there is also structure. Where there is deeply ingrained structure, there is also pervasive belief that transformation is impossible. Naturally, the time-space universe conforms to the matrix of projection, and the very concept of transformation is removed from the hierarchy's reality. Thus, the hierarchy is unable to even conceptualize the model of transformation and mastership with any precision, let alone the entities that alternatives exist, which issues from source intelligence. The hierarchy is not responsible for this condition. Each entity is. So that means, even though the hierarchy is doing its job, you must do your own job in questioning what is it to truly want, and what you truly are seeing or being presented. Because within every entity is the wholeness, as is the wholeness navigator. But the perception is limited, so you're getting this perception of the hierarchy with your own perception. So that's what the Buddha said. Do not accept anything that is presented to you without agreeing with unless it agrees with your common sense and your experience of life. So it is the entity that has chosen to explore the hierarchy's model of existence for the purpose of participating in the grand experiments and assisting in the emergence of the synthesis model of existence. The hierarchy is quite benign as a manipulative force, yes, and merely represents a key ingredient to the recipe of the wholeness that is transforming the entities to reach beyond its role as a vibrant container of source reality and become the bridgeway into expression of source reality into time-space universe. An ancient belief, born of the hierarchy, that the time-space universe will ascend into source reality, and the instrument of love, the human instrument of love, will accompany this ascension process. However, it is source reality that is expanding to encompass the time-space universe with the purpose of aligning all entities to the synthesis model of existence. Source intelligence is stripping away the veils that hide the true meaning of the entity model of expression in the time-space universe. When this occurred, the entity will possess source equality in all dimensions, all fields of vibrations, and its componentry will be united for this full expression of its sovereign perspective. This transformation of the entity is the pathway into wholeness, and the recognition that the entity model of expression is a composite form, and the formless that is unified in one energy, one consciousness. So when the fragments are aligned and interconnected, the entities become the instrument that facilitates source reality expansion. So the entities does not ascend from time-space universe, but rather coalesce into a state of wholeness whereby its sovereign expression can assist the expansion, or in different contexts, the descent of source reality into the time-space universe. So all of life, all of source, is merging into the time-space universe. Ascension is often construed as a natural outcome of evolution. All planetary systems and species are evolving to the point where they ascend from limitation, and that eventually time-space universe will somehow fold into source reality and cease to exist as a field of our vibration, but it's actually quite the opposite. Source reality is descending. It is inclusive of all things. It is the source intention to expand, not retreat. The entity transforms wholeness within the cradle of time-space universe. In so doing, becomes an accessory of source reality intention to expand. Okay, can you see the perfection of this primal blueprint? Can you feel the shifting of the matrix from which your reality is cast? Can you not also understand that you, the human instrument, consists of a componentry that is individuated as a single point of pure energy, yet live in many places in many dimensions simultaneously? Only within the entity is the place of transformation discovered, where the formless self can enter and commune with its various outposts of form. The formless is the eternal watcher, who lives beyond the veil of form and comprehension, and draws forth the wisdom of time from the veil of planet, and the well of planet too. It is the point of origination from whence source intelligence flows. This eternal watcher is the only real interpreter center for the eternal entity. It is the only stable guidance system that can propel the entity to its wholeness. The entity is composed of both the formless identity of source intelligence and the form identity of densified energy. While the formless one is, the formful is divested in many fragmented of expressions that isolate its consciousness as islands of perception and expression. Thus conditioned results in the entity's denial of its vast and glorious nature of existence. In the human instrument, the entity, for the most part, is silent and unmoving. It appears like a fleeting whispers of gladness that touch you like a mountain wind. It is quiet like a deep ocean. Yet the entity is coming forward in the time-space universe as a harbinger of source reality expression. It is beginning to make itself known as it truly is, and many feel the shadow of the entities as its approach. They consign all forms of definition to this shadow, seldom believing it to be the torchbearer of the total selfhood. And here is where the vows of faithfulness and all the ceremonies of love and all the feelings of hope should be centered and given over to the sovereign entity that we each are. The primary reason that the hierarchy model of evolution saviorship is so compelling is because the entity has become fragmented in how it perceives its total selfhood. The eternal watcher that lives through the human instrument is elusive to the time-space conditioned mind. Yet it is the mind that attempts to reach out and touch the subtle vibration of source equality that is forever kindled by source intelligence. But the mind is too conditioned and disempowered to realize the total scope of the entity that exists beyond the shadow of intuition. It is for this reason that the species exploring the evolution saviorship model of existence. They have little or no conception of their wholeness and require savior and acclimation process of evolution to bring them security and happiness. It is a natural condition of an evolving species to have a desire implanted by the hierarchy to be saved or to be a savior. This condition results in the teacher-student ordering of the universe. It is a building block of evolution and the very essence of the hierarchy's structural existence. While some species resort to drama of survival to catalyze their evolutionary process, other species resort to the drama of being saved or being a savior. The saviorship drama is the expression of sovereign entities that are preoccupied with the evolutionary process. It is not confined to a religious context, but indeed applies to all facets of one's life. As there are relative truths, there are relative freedoms. If you are evolving through the hierarchical process, you gain an ever-increasing sense of freedom. Yet you are still controlled by the vibration of externals through language, thought forms, frequencies of colors and sound, and the seemingly indelible artifacts of the genetic mind. Each of these elements can cause human instrument to rely upon the hierarchy as an overlays of a sense of inequality between you and your source. The underlying equation of the evolutionary process is human instrument plus hierarchy equal God connection. In the transformational process, it is entity plus source intelligence equal prime source equality. Source intelligence generally manifests as the vibration of equalities, is subject to the will of first source. And as the source intelligence changes to the various stage of the grand experiments, source intelligence is also changing its form of manifestation. This change is occurring now within the world of time and space because first source is beginning to see the stage for the integration of the two primary models of existence within the grand experiment: evolution or saviorship, transformation, mastership. The time has come to integrate the dominant model of a hierarchy, evolution, saviorship, within the dominant models of source intelligence, the transformation mastership model. This integration can only be achieved at the level of the entity. It can only occur within the concept of a human instrument on an aspect of hierarchy. Only the entity, the wholeness of interdimensional sovereignty, imbued with source intelligence, can facilitate and fully experience the integration of these two models of existence. This form of integration occurs when the entity fully explores the two models and develops a synthesis model that positions saviorship as an internal role of the entity to save itself, and not rely upon externals to perform this liberating task. This act of self-sufficiency begins to integrate the saviorship idea within the mastership realization. The next step is to integrate the time-based incremental progress of the evolutionary model with the realization-based acceptance of the transformational model. This is done when the entity is thoroughly convinced that the experience and utilization of its wholeness can only occur when it is completely detached from the various structures of the hierarchy. While the entity assumes this role of personal liberation, it does not mean the hierarchy is to be shunned or avoided. The hierarchy is a wondrous instrument to experience. It is symbolic of the body of the first source. Enable it to submerge within the time-space universe, similar to how human instruments allow the entities to function outside of source reality. The hierarchy is a vehicle of transformation, even when it acts to suppress information and keep a species in obedience to its controlling hand. It is part of the ancient formula that prepares a new universe for the synthesis model of existence and membership to the universe of wholeness. The combination of self-saviorship and detachment from the hierarchy initiates the synthesis model into manifestation. The synthesis model is the next outcome of the grand experiment, and certain vibrational fields of the multidimensional universe. There are entities who are indeed experiencing this stage. The experience as a forerunners of entity model of source individuation. These entities are specially designed to transmute this future experience into communication symbols and life principles that facilitate the bridging of the two models of existence. Beyond the initial design and construction of these bridges, the entities will remain unknown. If they were to do anything more, they would rapidly become a fixture of the hierarchy and their transition would be compromised. These sovereign entities are not present in the time-space universe to be formal teachers. They are present to be catalysts and designers. They are present to ensure that source intelligence is allowed to balance the dominant force of hierarchy and its model of evolution saviorship. They will not create the new belief system. They will focus developing new communication symbols to various art forms that facilitate the entity's detachment from the controlling aspect of hierarchy. The sovereign entities will also demonstrate the natural ease of intuiting the true primary strand of existence into the synthesis model. The advancing epoch of human development. entities will collectively design new pathways beyond its synthesis model of existence so that a new hierarchy can be constructed that is fashioned from source intelligent information. The new hierarchy will be cast from the knowledge gained from the grand experiments of the time-space universe, and the cosmic cycle will regenerate itself into the new field of vibration existence. This new model of existence resists definition. World symbols are completely inadequate to describe even the shadowy outline of this new form of existence that is emerging from out of the synthesis model of our future time, your future time. The wingmakers are sovereign entities who will be transforming time-space universe from ladders of consciousness to inclusion of source reality. In other words, source reality will be extended into the time-space universe, and all life forms therein will experience this extension to a new hierarchical structure completely aligned with source intelligence. Some call this heaven on earth. This is merely an echo-realization of this impeding future time. What is truly bearing down on the time-space universe is the expansion of source reality to the accessibility of source intelligence information to all entities regardless of form or structure. When this accessibility is complete and the source coding is fully activated, all entities will be a part of a new cosmological structure. This structure will invoke the next model of existence, which is already being developed within source reality by source intelligence and the sovereign entities. What is being activated now upon this time-space universe is the initial preparation for this shift in the universe of existence. More specifically upon Terra Earth, this model of existence would be simultaneously played out over the next epoch of time. As always, it will always be the choice of entities to choose which model they embrace as reality. These various models of existence will generally occur in a predetermined sequence, but not necessarily in a predetermined time frame. The sequence of source reality expression is source intelligent creation of new field of vibration, ongoing development of an entity's constructed hierarchy to act as a superstructure of new creation. The emergence from the hierarchy of a dominant model of existence, in this case, the evolution saviorship model, the introduction of source intelligence model of existence, in this case, the transformation mastership model, intermix these two models to form a synthesis model of source equality, source reality expression to the inclusion of all dimension and entities. When this sequencing of primal blueprint is achieved, the process with all that has been learned by source intelligence will be reconfigured and a new element of primal blueprint will be revealed that is unknown at this stage even by source intelligence. That time required to fill the complete cycle is undetermined, but it is reasonable to expect that its completion is yet so distant in time that to attach measurement is simply a feeble attempt at estimating the unknowable. Let there be no mistake, however, that the fulfillment of the primal blueprint is indeed the direction of all entities are traveling. While entities of all levels are bestowed free will within their own realities, they are not aspects of source reality, given free will to choose their ultimate destiny. The origins of entities is source intelligence. It is source intelligence that determines destiny as well as origin. Entities are provided tremendous latitudes of choice to propel themselves from origin to destiny and re-emerge into expanded version of source reality with a renewed source of and visions of their identity. All of the highest imaginings of the human instrument are yet unaware of the deepest foundation of the primal blueprint. You have sought the upper reach of the building and remain unaware of the foundation designed. It is here that the very bottom of existence, that first source, is bursting forth with this energy and is retreating with this equality of sovereign mastership. It is here that equality is realized, not in the lofty place of relative truth lodged in the hierarchy, but in the deepest part, the foundational plans of life's origin and destinies, where time rejoins itself in timelessness. The origin and destinies of existence is the tone of equalities in life. Listen for this tone, this frequency of vibration, and follow it back to the very foundation from whence all things arise and return. this is not the end, but this is a break. Namaste.